I frustrated and hurt a lot of people in my own self-destructed ball of flame. Campaign staffers, volunteers, family, friends, donors, Republican colleagues, the Republican Party. I disappointed. I let down the very people who uplifted me, like Chairman Joe Cairo, Chairman Garcia, Chairman Nunziato, Chairman Ed Cox, and former Chairman Langworthy. These are all people that helped me. And I completely behaved dishonorably, duplicitously, and dishonestly with them. So I understand the grief. I understand how one can be upset. And after 84 days in prison and 41 of them in absolute solitary confinement at the hands and mercy of a vindictive warden, I see it now. I see my wrongs more than ever. I understand why people are upset at me. I understand. It's simple. I would probably be in the same position and in their same shoes today. So coming back, it's a great second chance. I want it. I can't change the beginning of my life and how it started and my story. But I've been given an amazing opportunity, thanks to God and President Trump, that I have a second chance and I can change the ending of my life and how that story ends. And that is the most powerful opportunity a human being can have. And now I just want to have a life that has purpose, whether it's helping troubled youth never go to prison and show them that thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not cheat, thou shalt not lie, and let's build a life for them. And then also to help rehabilitate inmates so that they can be reintegrated into their communities and have a good prison system reform where rehabilitation is the focus. Not everybody who goes to prison is a murderer. So that's where my head is at. It's clarity. And Sid, it's great to hear your voice. It's great to be with you here today. Wow. And it's something that wouldn't happen if it wasn't for President Trump. So thank you. Thank you for being my friend.
Nah, listen, I think you're a good person down deep. You know, you got caught up. It's a rough business, and people do make mistakes. And don't go on social media, George, because you're going to hear people say, this guy is full of it. He'll say anything. You know, you remind me of somebody in recovery. You know, they tell you that gratitude is one of the most important words, and that even when things aren't going well, that everybody should have a certain bit of gratitude. And they tell you that resentments will only lead you back to drink or drug, which I can tell you've already removed some of those with people like Nick LaLota, maybe D'Esposito, Peter King, I don't know. So the way you sound this morning is incredibly healthy. The question is, can you maintain that type of thought process for an extended period of time? I think you can. But in terms of public opinion, that jury is still going to be out.
Look, a man can be measured by his actions. Words are cheap. The best way to measure a man and a human being is by their actions. You're right. The public jury is still out on it, and it's incumbent on me to come through and be good on my word in my actions. And that's it. Social media, I've completely disassociated. I've been back 3 days. I mean, I think I've put 3 posts out there, my official statement, another statement, and maybe something about like, hey, let's, please direct all your questions to me. Don't go badger U.S. senators and my former colleagues, some people who never even met me. This is my journey. Please direct all your questions, media, to me. I went on CNN yesterday. It's not an easy thing to sit with Dana Bash, and I got to say she was an absolute fair journalist to me yesterday. She asked tough questions. I gave her the answers. Look, measure me by my actions. I say this, President Trump. I fall short of words. I mean, I have a dying gratitude for his resolve with second chances and mercy, and my conversation with him was so sobering in a sense that Sid, why would I want to disappoint the man who gave me a second chance? Why would I allow anybody to go give I told you so, Mr. President, Never. I would never do that to him or to anyone at that matter. And most importantly, I wouldn't do it to myself. I just listening to how angry and how caught up I still was just 5 days before going to prison. The denial in my voice when I heard the beginning of that clip, I'm embarrassed. And I'm going to have to live with that. And I'm going to have to show people exactly how changed I am.
I buy it. I believe you.
I hold no animosity towards any of these guys. I know, look, we're all big boys, right? And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I'm sorry to Nick and Anthony. These are guys who never did anything to me. I hurt them. So I understand where it's coming from. I don't need this desire to go out there and do tit for tat. I know I was going to be criticized. I know these guys were going to go out there. They have a reason. They're hurt because I hurt them. And that's okay. That's part of me having to accept I hurt a lot of people with my actions, with my poor choices, and with my bad irresponsibility. So it's a matter now of rebuilding. And I just want to make sure that people know I make amends with my transgressions. And I just want to prove to them now through my actions that there is a different George Santos. 41 days in solitary confinement in the shoe, Sid, changes a human being.
Oh, my God, it's got to. It's got to be brutal. Man, I felt badly for you. I would go on the air and go, well, somebody help this guy, President Trump, somebody. So you got to tell me, at what point during your prison stay, George, did you become aware that the president was trying to help you? Or was it one morning all of a sudden they said, George, you get to go home? What was the process behind Trump eventually getting you out?
I had a lot of people advocating for me, as you know, yourself included.
Yes. Yeah, thank you.
So it's hard to tell you when or who or what. I believe it was a joint force, in my opinion, of people. It was a team effort. The president even said to me when we spoke, boy, you got a lot of people who like you and work like hell to get this done. And you got people who don't even get along with one another working together. And he said that was special. But God's honest truth, I learned through the TV. I was in prison. The inmates told me I had.
Come on.
God's honest truth.
So you're in your cell. The inmates are watching TV, and they go, "Hey, George, congratulations, you're going home."
So we don't have cells because I was back already at the camp. I had just been released from segregated solitary a few days earlier, and I had just gotten back to the camp and was trying to be reacclimating back to the dorm situation. I was in another room filling out my commissary sheet. I came up on TV. They said, "You're on TV." I'm like, "I'm always on TV," but nobody heard what it was. This was around 6 o'clock. Around 6:30, every chyron was breaking news in the cafeteria where all 5 TVs were saying I had just been commuted, and they all started screaming and calling me like, "You're going home, you know, SOB, you held back on us, you knew." I'm like, I'm filling out commissary. Do you really think I knew?
That's great. So, but would you say that, because I don't know, look, I know prison life from the TV show Oz, okay, and it looked really, really rough. But would you say that the majority of those prisoners were happy for you? Were they jealous? Did somebody want to punch you in the face before you left? How did that go?
Every single person in there expressed a sublime, genuine form of gratitude. And,
wow.
And they were happy. The one thing I've learned in prison is prisoners are happy for other prisoners when they get to go home, because they know how much they look forward to it. And they, in a weird way, live vicariously through one another. And it gives hope that they're next.
That's awesome. Now, I know that you complained about unsanitary conditions and some other things, which, again, every time you did, I made a point to say it on the air. But were there any physical threats during your time in prison? Anybody threatened to beat you up? Did somebody actually touch you? Any of that stuff?
Look, I'm an easygoing guy. I have a very mild personality as far as, how I associate with people. So no. The short answer of that is no.
Good.
But it is a very violent environment, because a lot of people say, "George, you went to Club Fed." First of all, no, I did not. I did not go to Club Fed. Second of all, the Second Chance Act changed how camps operate. So you do have guys in there who are big time drug dealers, big time gun charges, former gang members.
So when you get in there, do you make sure that you know who these people are and what they did, just in case you got to be there for 5 years?
So I had a prison consultant who helped or guide us in understanding the cast of characters. I ended up going to this prison for the fact that it's a population of under 50 in the camp. What I wasn't counting on was encountering a corrupt warden and a corrupt assistant warden who misappropriate funds, don't actually deploy funds appropriately, don't fix and do maintenance to the facilities. And that they were vindictive. They were very vindictive towards me because I made all those, as you read them, my column on the conditions, and these folks just couldn't handle it. So it became a big wedge issue. And, the first opportunity that arose, I was thrown in the shoe for protective custody, but protective custody is the same as disciplinary custody, meaning you lose your rights to phone calls, you lose your rights to emails, you lose your rights to visitation. You're restricted in a cage 6x9 for a period of 24 hours a day, with the exception of 1 hour of recreation time that you get Monday through Friday. But I will say this: I met great COs there, great men and women who were compassionate and were more concerned about my mental health than the actual warden was, or that the actual medical staff was.
Court officers are good people. Yeah, they're good people. The other court officers.
Good people.
Yeah.
There's tons of good people in the corrections system. The problem is the administrators are so corrupt, and that's where reform has to happen.
So what's the first thing you did? So I texted you a bunch, and you got right back to me, which is very sweet, George. Thank you. And you said, Sid, this is a 4-hour drive. I'm on the way home. I won't be home till about 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'll call you tomorrow. So the trip is over. Are you home? Are you at a hotel? Are you at a family member's house? As you get out of the car, and you're free now, where are you? What was the first thing you did?
I took a shower.
Awesome. Isn't that awesome?
I took a shower without flip-flops. And as bad as this is going to sound, it is so nice to have your toilet back.
I could just imagine. And the privacy, George, of your own toilet, right?
Oh, God. I got to tell you, the small things, and not having to drink water from the top of your toilet is very nice.
Oh, my God.
But, I took a bath. I took a nice shower. I got to just sleep in my own bed. The little thing. Sid, I used to think that wealth came with things. Jewelry, nice clothes, fancy cars. None of that amuses me. None of that entertains me. Wealth is family, friends, human relationships, the basic necessity. That's what wealth is. Yeah. You don't need to be rich to be a wealthy man or woman. You need to have a good support system, a good family, a group of friends. That's true wealth. And I learned that the hard way. Holy crap.
Yeah. But you did have a tremendous amount of support. And people in Congress, like Marjorie Taylor Greene at this point gets along with nobody. But she was, to give her credit in this case, she was a huge advocate. So were other Congress people that disagree politically. You had a lot of support, I think even more than you or President Trump knows. So I know right now it's about, getting your footing again and, gratitude and helping out people. But I did ask you this before you went away, and that is the politics, that chapter, closed in your life? And you refused, at least before you went away, to close that chapter. What about now?
Look, I said this yesterday, I'll repeat. I have no intentions at the immediate moment to go into politics. I don't want to say never, because 10 years from now, a lot can change. But the answer is, that is the last thing on my mind is a political run for office. I don't have it it's not in me. I don't have it. I don't want to do it. I think Matt would probably kick me out the house, and I'd probably have some sleepover at your place.
I've been told the same thing by Danielle, because I've received hundreds. I'm not exaggerating. People always say, they want me to run. No.
I've told you to run for office before.
Yes, you have. And I've received hundreds of people begging me to run for mayor in New York in 2029 to try to unseat Mamdani before he wins his second term. And like Matt said to you, Danielle said to me, you can do it, but look for a place to live.
Oh, I mean, if you win, you can sleep in Gracie Mansion.
That's a very good point, George. Well, you sound like $1 million. Have you had like one nice dinner yet? Something nice? So you've been pretty humble beginning since you got back.
Sushi. No, I will say this. I'm not. I will not lie to you or mislead you. Food in prison sucks. And I did have a very nice sushi dinner yesterday.
Oh, that's great.
And I am not embarrassed to say so. I needed fresh food that didn't come out of a can or out of the freezer. So it is very nice to be able to eat good food again.
I love it. Hey, well, one of these days, if you want to go for lunch or dinner, I'd be more than happy to take you. I'd love to see you. You know this. This wasn't Johnny come lately for me. I've been there for you the whole way. I'm really happy that President Trump has given you a second chance. I really believe in my heart of hearts you'll take advantage of it and do some really great things because I think down deep you're a terrific guy. So, George Santos, thank you for hopping on this morning. Continued success, and I'll see you and talk to you again very soon. Welcome home.